Man, I'm just thinking about this Charlie Kirk assassination, and I've got two messages, one to those on the left, one to those on the right. Both of them come from words that Jesus gave to his best friend on the planet, who was Peter. And if you guys remember, Peter told Jesus, don't go to Jerusalem. I'm not going to let you go to Jerusalem. And then Jesus responds, get behind me, Satan. So Jesus in that moment pointed out the spirit that was animating Peter at that moment. And so I think those on the left need to understand that there is a spirit that's animating you, that you need to understand what's behind it. And that spirit comes right out of Revelation chapter 12. It says the devil is filled with fury because he knows his time is short. That fury, that rage that you feel toward people who don't agree with you, people who don't believe like you do, and you want to just take them out, you want to cost their jobs, you want to ruin their reputation or even take their lives, you have no idea the spirit that you're of. And you need to get away from people who talk like that. And if you're thinking like that, you got to get your life right. Then to the message to those on the right, listen, Jesus also said to Peter, when Peter told him, actually not when Peter told him anything, but when Jesus was getting taken by the soldiers in the Garden of Gethsemane, and then Peter reaches for his sword, and he's like, no, you're not going to do this to Jesus, not on my watch, and he tries to take a dude's head off. And Jesus is like, wait, put your sword away. This isn't a physical fight. This is a spiritual fight. And so to those on the right, I would say, this is not a physical fight. This is a spiritual fight. And what's the biggest fight? The biggest fight of all is the raging war of ideas. That's how a spiritual fight manifests itself. What are we supposed to do? To those on the right, what are we supposed to do? 2 Corinthians 10:5 tells us, we demolish arguments and pretensions, ideas that stand against the knowledge of God. That's what Charlie Kirk did. He was not scared to talk about ideas. He wasn't scared to dive in and talk about rampant sexuality. He wasn't scared to talk about transgenderism. He wasn't scared to talk about open borders and immigration and all this stuff that Charlie Kirk boldly, because of his faith, he stepped into those things. And he was willing to do that. So to those on the left, you need to pay attention to the spirit you're of. To those on the right, pay attention to the spirit you're of. And you need to step forward in boldness and fight the spiritual battle. This isn't a physical fight. Don't try to take people's heads off. Okay? Don't do that. But we do need to dive into the raging war of ideas and fight like never before. This is a turning point.